The astrological aspects of the beginning of this year may affect the water sign Scorpio. Scorpio is a person who will feel emotional security in this year, and especially in the period until the final days of April and the months before the arrival of 2024. The opening months of this year encourage you to believe in things that come naturally to you. Thinking is influenced not only by the position of the Sun, but also by the placement of Mercury in the 4th house, from February 11th. During the action of the Sun on the 3rd astrological house, and later on the 4th house, you will focus your attention on family and siblings at the beginning of this year. The powerful co-ruler of the zodiac sign Scorpio continues its work in this year in the Cancer zodiac sign. The position of Mercury, which connects you with home, affects a lot in the Scorpio's life. In February, you focus your attention on your loved ones. This position of the communicative planet Mercury creates a new identity in your life. You are using your own intellect. The placement of Mars in the 9th house from March 25th to May 20th means a relationship with learning and getting to know each other for this year. Due to the effect on the 2nd water sign, your water energy is deepened even more. You are thinking about adventures, but due to the placement of Mars in the 9th house, specifically Cancer, you are worried about these decisions. So, from March 25th to May 20th, you are reluctant to take the initiative for changes in your life. Although you are afraid of uncertainty, on the other hand, you are persistent and hardworking. This placement of the fighting planet Mars, which signifies initiative, will visit your zodiac sign towards the end of this year. At the end of the year, its placement allows you to reflect on the past, even over what you did wrong in the past. During this year, the planet Mercury appears in retrograde motion in up to 4 periods. Right at the beginning of this year until January 18th, it acts on the 3rd astrological house of Scorpio. Mercury retrograde in the sign of Capricorn at the beginning of the year says that Scorpio has the opportunity to turn his mind back and understand past mistakes. It is necessary to arrange the future so that everything works according to your wishes. The first retrograde Mercury of this year will remind you of this fact. For the Scorpio sign, the water element is important in this year, which also rules this sign. Scorpio shares the element of water with the signs of Cancer and with the last sign in the sequence, Pisces. Even though you have the same element, your prediction for this period will be different. The horoscope describes lucky and unfavorable things in this year for each Scorpio. The lucky numbers of this year for the Scorpio sign are the numbers 1, 3, and 8. And also all combinations of these numbers, such as 38, 18. Shades of red will bring you the greatest success, joy, and relaxation after a difficult period. Red is associated not only with this year, but also with the chakra, which is essential for Scorpio in the current year. The health forecast predicts that the first chakra will require Scorpio's full attention. This is designated as the root chakra. Unblocking it will be very important for you to connect with your surroundings and relationships that are bothering you. The first chakra expresses your relationship with yourself, to work and to home. Improper work with the first chakra can mean losing solid ground under your feet, loss of energy or strength. For these reasons, the health forecast will also focus on advice for healing the root chakra in this year. The main problem of this year will be the manipulative Scorpio's behavior. In the middle of this year, you are distrustful. And that's because of the effect of retrograde Saturn and Venus, which affect your energy and past thoughts. You still haven't managed to come to terms with the past, so you have trouble trusting again. From this point of view, this year also reveals your negative characteristics. And those are, for example, jealousy and mistrust of others. Scorpio can also expect jealous scenes in the relationship during the year. This will happen mainly at the beginning of this year, when Venus will move to the 5th astrological house. This will happen in the first 2 months of the year, from January 27th to February 20th. In addition, you later struggle with the influence of retrograde Mercury in the 7th house. Specifically, from April 21st to May 15th. Here you meet the past again. It is especially painful if your relationships were violent, superficial. However, Scorpio does not lack courage throughout the year. Thanks to the favorable action of Mars, which will end its retrograde journey on January 12th. In this year, we no longer have to expect a second retrograde Mars, which would negatively affect the Scorpio energies and the entire zodiac. Thanks to the favorable position of Mars throughout the year, your life does not lack the right commitment, courage, and energy. On the other hand, the passionate power of this planet can encourage your jealousy and mistrust of those around you. Throughout this year, Scorpio is certainly interested in love. And also about energy related to love. The strongest compatibility in love awaits you with the zodiac signs of Taurus, Pisces, and with the sign of Cancer. In general, you achieve strong compatibility with these three signs, and the Scorpio prediction focused on relationships and love does not predict other energies. From the opposite point of view, many conflicts await you with the Gemini and Libra signs. Mistrust, manipulation, and possibly jealousy are associated with relationships with these signs. With Gemini and Libra, you will not be able to establish a physical and emotional connection to such a depth that you will be satisfied with your relationship. You are looking for intimacy and love with them. However, these desires may not be fulfilled during this year. As for friendly relationships, the astrological chart speaks of new friendships, especially at the beginning of this year. The Sun is also in a good position during August and September, when many Scorpios and social events await. These periods are favorable for new friendships and for strengthening old ties. You find the strongest friendly relationships with Sagittarius, Aries, Cancer, another Scorpio, and last but not least with the zodiac sign Virgo. You don't understand too much with the Sagittarius and Aquarius sign. The prediction also advises you not to gossip with these two signs. When it comes to work matters, finances, or health support, expect the greatest help from the Virgo, Aries, and Capricorn signs. The mentioned three zodiac signs understand you perfectly, they understand your needs and feelings. They can tune into your wave of courage and activity. This makes you work well with these signs. If you need to overcome a certain challenge, turn to the listed three zodiac signs. Work relationships will cause you problems with the Scorpio and Libra signs. In this regard, expect dishonesty and the revelation of the secrets you have entrusted to these two signs. From the given overview of compatibility in relationships for this year, you already know which signs you can entrust your secrets to. Also, remember that job duties should remain at work. Do not mix privacy and work matters. If you transfer negative energy from the workplace to your home, it can cause difficult situations in relationships. Forecast also strongly warns against gossip that could affect your good reputation and good relationships. And not only at work, but also in the family and among friends. Expect the most negative energies that can be related to gossip at the end of this year. Specifically, from the month of October until the beginning of 2024. During this period, the horoscope strongly advises you to avoid gossip, slander, and ugly talk behind others' backs. Express your emotions with respect to the feelings of others. Fight dishonesty. Do not turn to people who support your manipulative side of behavior and cause jealousy in your life. Check things out before falsely accusing others of nefarious intentions. The water energy of your zodiac sign offers you stability and the ability to keep secrets. So don't let yourself be lured into bad ways by people who don't know the word tolerance, trust. The emotional setting will teach you more about yourself even during the big year. The water element, which is already an element of new possibilities and talent in Scorpio's life, will manifest itself in full force. Thanks to Mars, you gain passion even where passion has not been manifested so far. Last but not least, Scorpio perceives the position of retrograde Pluto, from the beginning of May until October 11th. Your ruling planet enters retrograde motion for 162 days of this year. From the 4th astrological house, it enters the 3rd house during the retrograde phase. It therefore passes through the 4th and 3rd astrological Scorpio houses. Thanks to this Pluto position, you have the opportunity to undergo your own life transformation. You know you can't change the whole world, but you can change your personal view of your surroundings. The position of Pluto in the middle of this year means a more sensitive nature. It can also indicate a return to the past following one's own footsteps. You mainly remember the connection of your life with the thoughts of other people. If the past was painful, you may experience this pain repeatedly. You make a lot of effort to get rid of the past, habits, and problematic memories. Thanks to this, you know exactly which life path you are on. Even if you are afraid of everything new, you can leave some things behind. And that is the positive face of retrograde Pluto in this year. Negative energies affect Scorpio in this year. Fortune teller Sybil works with a year-round forecast. Thanks to this, he knows that there are more negative energies waiting for the Scorpio, which you will have to face. In this paragraph, we will discuss what transits will affect the overall energies of your year. What do you need to prepare for and what to avoid to make your year as positive as possible? It is in this section that the Scorpio prediction will answer which negative energies will trouble Scorpio in this year. At the beginning of the year, Mercury in the 3rd house, in a retrograde position, acts on every Scorpio. At the same time, the planet Mars is added to this action until January 12th, the same in reverse motion. These two astrological aspects result in a feeling of great mistrust in Scorpio's decisions and relationships. Scorpio could not identify with the past sufficiently last year. Although many astrological aspects have given you the opportunity to put your mind at ease, in this year, these energies will again manifest. And that's because of repeated feelings of personal failure. In addition, jealousy will be a characteristic feature of every Scorpio, which this year will bring to the fore. At the beginning of the year, up to 2 unpleasant astrological aspects interfere with your energy. Until January 18th, you feel the energy damage coming from the retrograde movements of the planets Mercury and Mars. If you expect social events with the arrival of this year, you should slow down. Be aware of where you want to spend this time between 2022 and this year. Your decision will be important. Will you start this time with a smile or surrounded by problematic and poisonous people? The decision is yours. Venus in the 5th astrological house from January 27th to February 20th causes complications in the personal relationships of each Scorpio. This Venus is known for its effect on the sign of the zodiac by causing great attractiveness and a positive relationship to affairs. This position of Venus can threaten such partner relationships of Scorpio, which were disturbed in the past by fraud, arguments, or a deeper disruption of good relations. Venus in the 5th house evoked in Scorpio a desire to satisfy superficial needs. This is how affairs arise at work, between friends or colleagues. In order to avoid this negative influence of Venus in the 5th house in the 1st and 2nd months of this year, it is necessary to strengthen your long-lasting relationship in every possible way. For singles, this position of Venus means relationships that can be damaged quickly. If you start a relationship with someone new, Venus in the 5th house does not predict such a relationship will last long. On the contrary, this relationship will be based mainly on physical pleasure. Last but not least, Venus in the 5th house of single Scorpios can enrich them with a gift in the form of the first or next baby in the family. So, if you want to avoid this result from your romance at the beginning of this year, be careful, the Scorpio prediction advises. Another negative astrological aspect that will focus on Scorpio energy in this year is Mercury retrograde in the 7th house. Every Scorpio will feel the influence of the retrograde process of Mercury. It will be a very prominent Mercury, which will affect all Scorpios' personal relationships, even in a negative way. The forecast of negative transits points to retrograde Mercury in the 7th house. The latter presents complications for most Scorpio relationships. Scorpio wants to put the past in order. However, it only leads you to negative thoughts and frustration. You constantly look back to the past. You deal mainly with personal relationships. This aspect is complicated for married and single Scorpios who wanted to improve their relationships with the arrival of this year. You want to explain to others everything you messed up in the past. It causes you to spoil your personal relationships with other people in the present by focusing on the wrong things. You will focus all your energy on overcoming the past, which is already forgotten by other people. In your husband or long-term partner, you now see more of a child that needs to be taken care of. You perceive him more as a family member, brother or sibling, not as your partner and the person through whom you satisfy your desires. The strong elements missing these days, from April 21st to May 15th, astrologically predict that you want to make decisions for other people as well. And they will not be identified with it. Because of this attitude of yours, you will find yourself in situations where you will have to face the opposing opinions of your loved ones. Looking at the karmic action of this astrological transit, it is clear that this transit will disturb your karma. It impoverishes you with the ability to understand others. So, you constantly and persistently judge your past thoughts, the consequences of your decisions, your actions. You treat other people rather impersonally. This constellation of cosmic energies is difficult if you want to strengthen your personal relationships. Last but not least, Mercury makes you an introverted person who is closed off from social events. The energy of retrograde Mercury will last until May 15th. From this date, the vibrations from Venus and Mars will focus mainly on career advancement. So, if you did not strengthen your relationships with the arrival of this year and its first 3 months, the second part of the year will be more difficult to clean up your relationships. From June 17th, the influence of Saturn in the 5th house pushes into Scorpio's attention. In addition, until October 11th, you also perceive the retrograde position of the planet Pluto, which is your ruler. Pluto moves through the 4th and later the 3rd astrological house. This position of your ruler will also negatively affect the year-round energies of this year. The aforementioned position of retrograde Saturn and Pluto is accompanied by fear that comes from early childhood. Problems caused by retrograde planets can have a strong impact on emotions. You are blocked from expressing your feelings. Even though you know that love and its support is very important in your life, you cannot find a way to grow in this direction. Retrograde Pluto, as your ruler, affects paranoid feelings. You perceive negative impulses from the environment. Pluto placed in this way indicates that you have trouble disassociating yourself from the problems that occurred during your childhood. It also indicates that you are unable to break the bond with long-term habits that hold you back. They don't allow you to progress. You want to experience inner rebirth, but the position of Pluto in retrograde motion blocks you in this direction. Saturn operating from June 17th to November 14th reminds you that you did not have time to do the things you wanted to do. The position of Saturn in the 5th astrological house gives your life a great need to overcome obstacles. You feel like you're doing less in life than you really are. You don't want to put things off until later. But right now, you don't have the energy to take care of important responsibilities. Your energy is blocked by retrograde Saturn, which directs your attention to doubts. It blocks situations that could help in your personal advancement. Retrograde Saturn raises self-doubt. Scorpio is afraid of any commitments during this period. Despite the fact that other astrological aspects give you many opportunities in the career field, you have a problem to start implementing them. Life will now put you in situations that you feel are challenging. You feel that the weight of responsibility weighing on your shoulders is now unbearable. Your personal affairs, emotional security, or personal relationships develop only very slowly for the better. You yourself do not show any activity to direct the relations to better functioning. However, your creative abilities are not blocked, and you can help other people who will later help you. On July 23, retrograde Venus, which acts on the 10th house, is added to the aforementioned astrological aspects. From an overall point of view, the Scorpio career in this year is successful. In this regard, however, Scorpio longs for social recognition, which he chases after. Energies deteriorate with the Venus arrival in the 10th house on July 23 until September 4. During this period, you are highly sensitive to any criticism at work. You don't feel comfortable around other people. It is this pressure from the planet Venus that can lead you to try to bring other people down or damage their good reputation. During this period, the annual forecast strongly advises you to avoid gossip. Complicated relationships at work or in friendly relationships are now waiting for you with the Libra, Scorpio, Aquarius, Sagittarius signs. Especially under the influence of Venus in the 10th house. Negative aspects do not appear in the astrological chart in the final 3 months of this year. On the contrary, the astrological aspects of the final period, with the Scorpio arrival season from October 23, are set for success and personal advancement. In December, the action of the last, final Mercury retrograde of this year awaits Scorpios. This time it acts on the 3rd and 4th houses of astrology. In this direction, Scorpio can be influenced by astrology, especially in relation to siblings or the household. However, every Scorpio now has the opportunity to reassess what they have achieved during this year. You can go back with your thoughts. Although Mercury in retrograde motion prompts you to think about the negative aspects of this year. But thanks to the positive mindset that will come from October 12th, you can fully identify with positive things, accept them in your life, enjoy them. The Scorpio prediction therefore predicts several disturbing aspects that hinder Scorpio from progressing. In order to avoid manifestations of a negative character and on your health, it is necessary to set your mind to a more positive perception of the environment. Last but not least, horoscope warns you against alcohol or other addictive substances that can endanger your health. Throughout this year, astrological aspects are a warning for Scorpio to avoid excessive consumption of alcohol or other addictive substances. They can cause a disaster not only in your personal life, but also in terms of health. Avoid driving or any risky activity under the influence of addictive substances. Positive energies that affect Scorpio this year. This short summary of positive astrological aspects was created by the fortune teller Sybil to give every Scorpio a brief overview of how astrological aspects can affect the whole year. Astrological transits are not only focused on disturbing your sign. Now we will also look at the positive effect of cosmic energies on each Scorpio. In this section, the horoscope will present you with the positive astrological transits of this year and their greatest impact on love, financial health or career. In a positive direction, the annual forecast at the beginning of this year talks about negative karma that is connected with past relationships. It is represented by retrograde Saturn and Mercury in missing movement until January 18th. Nevertheless, every Scorpio has the opportunity to identify with his past. The period until January 18th requires a certain degree of isolation from others. However, you will find peace and forgiveness within yourself, which you consider extremely important. Through meditations and breathing exercises, you find identification with your life. Your negative karma leaves your mind. Everything negative that you bring from the past will help you to remove from your life the beginning of this year. If you fully concentrate on it, you have the opportunity to get rid of negative karma. Positive astrological energies arrive from January 18th to April 21st. This period is extremely auspicious for any Scorpio looking for a safe home and comfort from loved ones. Astrological aspects are concentrated in the 4th, 5th, and 6th astrological houses. They are therefore a harbinger of a fertile period for every Scorpio who wants to expand his family. The Scorpio pregnancy horoscope assigns the first months of this year the greatest chance for success. Every Scorpio who tries to expand the family through the first or next offspring should be successful at the beginning of the year until April 21st. It is predicted by properly set transits that are not blocked by disturbing aspects. The first, extremely disruptive aspect, comes with April 21st and lasts until May 15th. It is retrograde Mercury placed in the 7th astrological house. Astrology considers this action of Mercury on Scorpio extremely disturbing. Even in this case, the fortune teller 𝙃𝙚𝙧𝙧𝙾 knows that the Scorpio can draw a certain energy from Mercury for positive self-enhancement. Although the retrograde energy of Mercury in the 7th house can disturb you a lot at the end of April, you have the opportunity to return your attention to forgotten things. Some decisions in the past seemed too ambitious for you. It is also reminiscent of this retrograde Mercury and its position in the 7th house. However, in a positive sense, this Mercury gives you the opportunity to slow down. Go back to your plans from the past. Mercury in the 7th house is a favorable position for any Scorpio who wants to go back to certain things and make them better. Perhaps this Mercury will give you the opportunity to better connect with your partner. Try to go back to the past together. To those things that tied you to the other. Connect your thoughts with the person you love and focus on what may have disturbed your relationship in the past. Thanks to retrograde Mercury, you know that you will never make the same mistakes again. If you involve your partner in these feelings, who is certainly also affected by retrograde Mercury during this period, you can get a very positive Mercury effect on emotional security. If you are looking for a job or a better background, continue to take measures that help you achieve this dream. No matter how disruptive Mercury retrograde in the 7th house will be from April 21st to May 15th, every Scorpio has the opportunity to gain from it a positive effect on personal adjustment. You have a chance to do a better job. The possibility to return to the old. To get back what you have lost in the past. Conscious perception of what was wrong in the past and what you would like to correct is a necessary part of life so that we do not repeat our past mistakes. Only if you remember the things you did wrong can you move on with life. So that later the correction is no longer necessary. Other positive aspects that affect the Scorpio energy are expected during the summer months. The favorable placement of astrological planets and aspects from June to the end of August predict that many interesting opportunities await Scorpio. And that's mainly from the point of view of career advancement. In addition, Mars placed in the 11th astrological house from July 10th to August 2.7 is a harbinger of social events that will be prosperous for personal relationships. Not only can you feel the energy of friendship all around you, you also meet new people. Mostly those born under the Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Virgo, and Aries sign. They become your closest friends. If in the second part of the year you avoid slander and gossip, which are part of the prediction according to the astrological chart for this period, your life and personal position will be much stronger. Your placement in this year requires more activity, as well as correct decisions. Throughout the year, Mercury lends you communication skills. And that even during action in the retrograde direction. For the better health of every Scorpio, the horoscope advises you to enjoy life every second of it. Perceive what life wants to tell you in every minute of its activity. Several astrological aspects of the end of this year are extremely favorable. For example, the Scorpio season, from October 23rd to November 21st, is strongly associated with the position of Mars in the first house. Mars in the first house means a huge amount of energy for the single and the unemployed. The energy can be used to get the desired job. Also for getting to know a person who can be Scorpio's fateful love. Mars in the first house is beneficial for all Scorpios. For all of you who want to do a better job, a change in your life. Who doesn't want to be afraid of the future and their decisions? The end of this year seems to be the most favorable for Scorpio from the point of view of the astrological chart. In addition, Mars in the first house creates a more extroverted nature in every Scorpio. The horoscope predicts that the celebration of Scorpio's birthday in this year will be full of joy. Joy and success await you at the end of the year. And not only from Mars in the first house. For many Scorpios, but especially for those who are single, the beginning of this year means a purification of the mind. Venus in the fifth house can have an impact on long-term partner relationships, even in a disturbing sense. However, those relationships that are strong will go through a total personal cleansing. You can make decisions that matter. Therefore, the right decisions await you not only in February, but also at the end of this year. According to the astrologer, the month of December seems to be an ideal month for solving problematic relationships. Venus is in the first house. It lends Scorpio beauty, a sense of identification with oneself, a lot of energy, also properly oriented towards the things that really matter. Scorpio love and relationship forecast. The longer transit of Mars in the 8th house ends on January 12th. Since last October, the first sign of the zodiac will take a break from this retrograde position of the planet Mars. In your zodiac sign, retrograde Mars caused a blockage of emotions. You have not been able to separate your lust from what the other wants for himself. This constellation of retrograde Mars also means intimate problems and rejection. In the past, Scorpio struggled with fear of rejection, loneliness. As of January 12th, energies are shaping up to be more positive as Mars flips into the 8th astrological house in a direct position. So, he continues on his way. Karmically speaking, however, its action turns to the positive. As your secondary ruling planet, Mars placed in the 8th house is the planet that seeks information. You also solve problems in various areas of life, and especially problems of an intimate nature that you had in the previous period. This Mars position gives you more strength and determination. You will be guided by strong and deep feelings. You can also be interested in sexuality, which now becomes a form of your expression. The first 3 months of this year, when your secondary planet Mars affects the 8th house, can be a period of calm and joy. Especially for Scorpios in a long-term relationship. Feelings of intimate separation disappear from your life. You have the opportunity to take the initiative, tune your partner to your wave of new experiences, understanding and joy of being close to another. The Sun is favorably placed in the 4th house during February. That's when it connects your mind with home. You want people around you to feel cozy, safe. Thanks to the placement of another planet, Mercury, also in the 4th house of Scorpio astrology, Scorpio becomes an understanding person full of understanding. The entry quarter of this year is favorable for all relationships that were disrupted in Scorpio. The beginning of this year gives you the opportunity to deepen family connections. You can strengthen relationships with children. Children now enjoy your attention and your interest in spending your free time with games and entertainment. Until April 21st, the energies affecting long-term Scorpio relationships are extremely favorable. Moreover, from April 20th, the Sun moves into the 7th astrological house. This position of the Sun is crucial for all good Scorpio's personal relationships. Positive vibration towards the Sun in the 7th house, however, blocks the onset of retrograde Mercury from April 21st. The retrograde process of the second retrograde Mercury of this year will end its return to the direct position on May 15th. From April 21st to May 15th, each Scorpio faces the energy of retrograde Mercury in the 7th astrological house. The 7th house is responsible for personal relationships, a good marriage, and relationships with coworkers. In this case, the horoscope warns every Scorpio against entering into a quick, thoughtless marriage. If you are a Scorpio in a long-term partner relationship, and you are thinking about marriage, this period is definitely not suitable for this step. Not only are your decisions wrong, Last but not least, Mercury in the 7th house can also block your plans and completely disrupt them. Therefore, this period is not suitable for signing important documents, such as a marriage contract. Disturbing April and May retrograde Mercury is a really important position for Scorpio's long-term partner relationships. In this case, all your parsing attempts keep going back to the past. Every Scorpio now wants to sort out what they've been through emotionally. Several Scorpios are now experiencing frustration and problems in their married life. This period can also deprive you of free time. You want to spend them mainly thinking about yourself, but also about your past decisions. Under the influence of retrograde Mercury in the 7th house, you are nervous, sometimes even angry, in the presence of other people. Mercury in this position does not recommend Scorpio to participate in social events for which you really do not have the mood and energy. From April 21st to May 15th, you make decisions about personal relationships. However, this is not a good move. The best thing to do is to think about yourself. If you identify with past decisions, do not take hasty actions that are mainly related to your long-term partner, warns the Scorpio love and relationship prediction for this period. After this disturbing position of Mercury from May 15th, the energies will crystallize into more beautiful, better ones. The Sun still affects the 7th astrological house, and during May it also moves into the 8th house. Other astrological aspects from May to August will focus mainly on career advancement and issues related to long-term goals and reputation. Partner relations are pushed to the back during the summer months of this year. However, the planet Saturn in retrograde motion from June 17th to November 14th also has something to say in romance and the fertility of every Scorpio. The Scorpio pregnancy forecast for this period also mentions this retrograde phase of the planet Saturn in the 5th house. You have a strong need now to overcome any obstacles you perceive in this direction. You want to create persistent values. This aspect concerns all Scorpios who desire to have their first or next child in their life. In this direction, all the problems and complications that were part of your life when raising children are opened up. If you are a Scorpio who longs for your first child, you may find yourself in situations that remind you of how big a role the role of a parent is. Forecast speaks of a great responsibility that comes into your life. Pregnancy fortune telling does not talk about major problems with conception. However, you will think about sufficient finances and other matters related to the new addition to the family. The fertile period for Scorpios lasts until May, from the beginning of the year. Later, you can use the fertile period of the month of December to fulfill your dream, if you were not able to do so in the first decade of the year. Long-term partner relationships will therefore be interestingly affected mainly by the 2nd retrograde Mercury of this year. Later energies, especially those during the summer months, deal with Scorpio's career and friendships. The end of this year directs the attention of the committed Scorpio to the household, but also to siblings. Many social events await you at the end of the year. The position of Venus in the 1st astrological house from December 4th to 29th also requires your attention. Venus in the 1st house means a favorable development of personal relationships for Scorpio. All relationships that are important to you, not only those with a long-term partner. This position of the planet Venus, which takes place during the last month of this year, means Scorpio's great desire for love and friendship. Favorable energies flowing from the planet Venus at the end of this year will bring more love, understanding, and harmony into your life. Therefore, the end of this year for Scorpio is very positive in terms of long-lasting relationships, friendship, and family relationships. Therefore, the annual forecast does not predict big storms in your long-lasting relationship. Only Mercury retrograde from April 21st to May 15th can cause great impulsiveness in Scorpio. From this point of view, you can cause quarrels in the family, and especially with your partner, which can be painful. Be careful how you express yourself during this period. Also, the summer months of this year can be difficult for long-term relationships. Your work will require your attention. Career in the first place will be the focus of many arguments and misunderstandings with a partner during the summer months for Scorpio. Forecast advises you to try to find a balance between work life and personal obligations during the year. Treat your love as a precious gift, not as a matter of course. Especially from May until the end of August. The Scorpio season, which starts on October 23rd and ends on November 21st, will enrich you with new personal growth and development in several areas of life. And of course, also in personal relationships. As Mars in the first house from October 12th to November 24th predicts asserting your views through physical force, it is possible that more aggressive, masculine energy will manifest in your life. A more extroverted nature at the end of this year can be used by Scorpio for success and personal growth. Horoscope for single Scorpios. Retrograde Mars, which since last year blocked favorable prospects for the future for single Scorpios, expires on January 12th. The frustration you felt in the previous months caused problems in expression. Your feelings were hidden. Retrograde Mars in the 8th astrological house also causes problems in Scorpio's sexual expression and intimate life. Maybe you're a single Scorpio who made bad decisions in the past months. You judge yourself because of many things you have done in the past. You believed that these things and your mistakes have cut you off from some people, denied you the identification of yourself with your deep emotional feeling. You must realize that Mars in this position has offered you the possibility of transforming yourself. Looking at retrograde Mars, which turns its retrograde process on January 12th, opens your eyes in direct position. You long to identify with the world in which you live. You want to actively communicate how you feel and that you've learned from your mistakes. If you control your needs, then in this year you will achieve success, love, harmony with yourself, predicts the horoscope for single Scorpios. Direct Mars resides as your secondary ruling planet in the 8th astrological house. In a direct process, he talks about solving many problems that you yourself are responsible for. The urge to seek intimate pleasures is stronger now, especially under the influence of this Mars position. Sexuality becomes a form of expression for you. However, under the influence of retrograde Mars, you mainly sought complicated and impersonal relationships. The situation has been changing since the second half of January. Every Scorpio is only interested in relationships that are deep, connected with feelings and emotions. In every person who arouses your interest, you are looking not only for experiencing intimate joy, but also for deep feelings. You may also be more interested in better financial management. As for single Scorpios, the secondary ruling planet draws your attention mainly to your relationship with sexuality. This Mars also encourages the magical abilities of every person. The attention of an unmarried Scorpio can also be oriented towards mysticism. Several Scorpios can also use white magic to attract love into their lives. For example, during the lunar new moon, which occurs on January 21st. Or during the February new moon, which forms in the 5th astrological house on February 20th, all the energies of the opening days of this year, the months of February, March and April, connect you with love, and with the right by setting your mind to seek meaningful partnerships. The correct position of several astrological aspects, and the formation of the full moon on March 7th, encourages every single Scorpio in search of new, interesting friendships. The March full moon in the 11th house opens your eyes to the world around you. It will bring many new people into your life who deserve a place in your heart. It can be new friends who will later develop into a person interesting to your emotional world as well. Mercury retrograde in the 7th house is responsible not only for unfavorable feelings in committed people. Even for those who are single, it blocks the overall expression of personality. It will happen from April 21st to May 15th. This Mercury is key to balanced relationships throughout this time. It may happen that a single Scorpio will act very impulsively. It's no surprise that such Mercury encourages you to make quick, rash decisions related to feelings and personal relationships. This Mercury is often responsible for sudden breakups, emotional problems, for impulsive marriages that do not last long in the future. Therefore, the annual forecast advises single Scorpios to be more cautious, especially in the period from April 21st to May 15th. The new relationships you start in this period will be more complicated than you initially think. They can bring more problems into your life. If you are going to make a huge change in your life this year, tap into your passionate energy during the mentioned period of Mercury retrograde. Everything in your life takes time. And this time will come with the arrival of the second decade of this year. Retrograde Saturn forms in the 5th astrological house from June 17th to November 14th. Said Saturn also affects single Scorpios and their view of personal relationships. Although in the second part of the year there are many social events waiting for every single Scorpio, retrograde Saturn will influence your navigation of your emotional life. The 5th astrological house is often associated with romance, love, but also with affairs. Affairs in the life of a single Scorpio are predicted not only by Saturn in retrograde position. Last but not least, the Sun in the 11th house and the full moon on August 31st, which is also taking shape in the 5th house, also add to the warnings. All mentioned astrological aspects help you in personal relationships. But at the same time, they block correct judgment. From this point of view, a single Scorpio can make a bad decision. These decisions mainly concern the given partners that you are now looking for and attracting. To avoid problems with a love triangle, forget about relationships with specified partners. Not only would you cause a lot of trouble for yourself, these problems could also disrupt the partnership of other people, maybe even those you don't know. In this way, you will negatively affect not only your life, but also the lives of other people. Retrograde Saturn from June 17th to November 14th warns you not to be influenced by too much sexual energy and emotions that you cannot process. Work with your first chakra and surround yourself with the color red. Make it a part of your wardrobe. This color helps you fight against wrong decisions. Unfavorable energies crystallize from November 14th until the arrival of 2024. The very favorable position of Mars, which enters the 1st astrological house on October 12th, also encourages single Scorpios to make the right decisions. Specifically, since October 12th, energies are cleaner. From November 14th, you no longer make bad decisions. Venus in the 1st astrological house also encourages you to clear out any negative energies that have accumulated during this year. So, the prediction for single Scorpios advises you not to become part of a love triangle. Energetic Mars, which is the secondary planet of your zodiac sign, moves direct in this year. It is very favorably set up for the possibilities of every single Scorpio. Opportunities to find love, but also personal growth. The greatest personal peace, harmony, smile on your face and well-being await you in the final months of this year. In the second decade of November and throughout December, Venus affects the 1st astrological house, and last but not least, you also feel the favorable position of the Mars planet. So, spend the rest of the year communicating. Surround yourself with family and friends. Maintain loving relationships even with those people you met this year. All new relationships from this year will have a sense of the future, adds the annual chart. The pregnancy fortune-telling warns the single Scorpio against an unplanned pregnancy throughout the year. Energies are set for great Scorpio fertility. But some decisions may not be right. And therefore, protect yourself if you are more comfortable with the life you lead. Single Scorpios are identified with their status during the year. You are hoping for better relationships that are likely to come this year, and especially in its introduction and in the month of December. Scorpio family and friendship forecast. Looking at the astrological chart, it is clear that the first months of this year will play the biggest role in family relationships. The Sun in the 4th astrological house is placed from January 20th to February 18th. Every Scorpio yearns to identify with his family during this period. You want to preserve traditions, to be closer to the people you love. You are family-oriented. In January, February and March, Scorpio seeks refuge. A safe environment that influences your worldview. This year will give you favorable moments in the circle of your family. But the second half of the year can also be beautiful. Do not miss the opportunity in the first quarter of this year to fulfill the desire for understanding family members and healing bad relationships. Thanks to the position of the Sun in the 4th house, and thanks to the placement of Mercury in the same house during the month of February, the astrological aspects are set very favorably for strengthening personal and family relationships. You tend to bond with your parents, but also with the wider family circle. Let your loved ones know how much you love them, that you are thinking of them. The first 3 months of this year are the most suitable for strengthening family relationships. It also leads to the calming down of such relationships that suffered from problems in the past. Mercury in the 4th house lends you enormous communication power, which you can direct in order to calm previous, broken family or other personal relationships. Favorable astrological positions in the first 3 months of the year connect you with genus matters. You are not only looking for your own identity. You want to analyze all the problems that were related to your own life and family peace. You place great emphasis on parents, but also on other family members who created variable conditions in the home. Although you may tend to be irritable under the influence of Mercury in the 4th house, you can communicate any problem with strong communication skills. You are a person that all family members can rely on now. Thanks to this, you strongly hold the position of an important person, which supports your self-love. The planets are not negatively aspect during this period. Thanks to the fact that even the direct position of Mars offers you a lot of strength, you have the opportunity to fight any family problem that has disturbed your own integrity in the past. Therefore, family relationships are strengthened by favorable astrological aspects in the first months of this year. At that time, the Scorpio energy is oriented towards the household, children, parents, but also siblings. You experience your own sense of identification with others. You show your emotions easily. The surrounding area also enjoys your love. Mercury in the 7th house has a disruptive effect on the overall emotional stability. Not only for family relationships that were healed in the initial months. Mercury in the 7th house will bring you back to the past. Especially one that is associated with painful memories from childhood. From your early days. If you experienced a childhood in which you remember violence or tears, you will experience difficulties. These painful wounds will be opened by Mercury in the 7th house from April 21st to May 15th. Scorpio must build resilience and a strong outer shell in the first quarter of this year. Build resilience so you don't make decisions you'll regret later during the 2nd Mercury retrograde of this year. In the summer months of this year, there are days that focus on long-term goals, as well as getting to know the world, the surroundings. Energies are also focused on traveling and supporting each Scorpio in discovering new opportunities. More than one Scorpio now has the opportunity to start an interesting business, or to seize work opportunities related to family members. Especially with siblings. This is also how Saturn is set in the 5th astrological house from January 17th to November 14th. So Scorpio can make interesting decisions in terms of career. If these decisions concern siblings or friends, an extremely favorable friendly atmosphere awaits you from August 10th, when Mars enters the 11th house of astrology. In this position, Mars will surround you with many friends. The period from July 10th to August 27th is therefore oriented towards meeting new friends. Also for deepening relations with old acquaintances. It has a significant impact on every Scorpio, who perceived relationships with friends in the previous period rather more superficially. Mars in this position breaks the old rules. You are looking at new friendship structures. From this point of view, perhaps a single Scorpio, who discovers new values in a certain friend, has an opportunity. Other Scorpios can rely on the soul of friends who wanted to give them the right advice. The July and August position of the planets in this year means an independent Scorpio person. In any case, you always have friends at hand if you need support or help. The Sun is also in the right position in the month of August, which from August 23rd until the second half of September also affects the 11th house of friendship, hopes, fulfilled wishes, but also social events. Therefore, the annual forecast predicts many interesting possibilities for finding new friends. These new acquaintances will also make sense for Scorpio's future. But choose wisely. Friendships with Aquarius and Sagittarius can cause you more trouble than good. Nevertheless, you can expect a strong friendly connection from the signs of Aries, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Cancer, and from the Virgo sign. Friendly relationships are strong with the mentioned zodiac signs. Unbreakable bonds. As for family and friendly relationships, the end of the year is favorable for every Scorpio. From the point of view of astrological aspects, not only Mercury is favorably placed, but also Mars and the planet Venus. All these astrological transits at the end of this year give Scorpio the opportunity to deepen all the relationships you want to improve. Moreover, the position of Mars gives you fuel. It drives you to tangible results. It progresses from the first to the third house. Mars at the end of this year means that a lot of independent work awaits you, but also better relationships with friends, family. Last but not least, with yourself. Venus in the first house joins this favorable position and the influence of Mars in December. Scorpio encourages you to enjoy the end of this year according to your own ideas. Even before the arrival of 2024, astrological aspects offer you the opportunity to resolve problematic relationships from the whole year. Scorpio work and finance forecast. In this year, many Scorpios will ask themselves questions about their career life. You ask whether you are comfortable with the work you are doing. You are interested in what options you have for change, in terms of finances and the overall family budget. The beginning of this year will remind you that there are people around you that you can rely on. The correct position of Mercury with the arrival of this year will provide you with useful information and a sense of communication. You can fully concentrate on the work that will strongly influence this year. Your naturally strong analytical skills will help you to clean up your career, according to your own ideas. In this year, several Scorpios may be approached with a job offer from a completely new direction. People born with the Sun in Scorpio can make excellent decisions in career fields. If you follow not only your heart, but also the advice of older, more experienced people around you. A motivated Scorpio's career may be in jeopardy. And that right away with the first position of Mars, in the 8th house. Then you focus your attention on joint finances with the people in your household. The financial budget does not bother you, but it is interesting for the future. And that under the influence of retrograde Mars, which has been in this position since October last year. The energies related to finances and your career, and which you carry over from 2022, can interestingly influence the development of your career and financial stability for the year. Prediction concluded its finance and career forecast with a harbinger of favorable financial developments at the end of last year. Optimism in this direction may persist even with the arrival of this year. However, expect larger expenses in the first quarter, which is strongly focused on personal relationships and the Scorpio household. Even though the end of last year presented itself with financial stability, the beginning of this year may be more difficult to spend. It is necessary to mention the advice from the horoscope, which says that every Scorpio should spend wisely. At the beginning of this year, you have some money set aside. Thanks to this, you don't have to be too negatively surprised by the financial expenses that are the arrival of the year, which will be mainly required by your household. In terms of career advancement, with the beginning of this year, you compare your entire past year. You also compare your work performance in relation to the work of others. This year is initially oriented towards several transits that support the start of a business or career plans with the family. You should use the positive transits that the beginning of this year provides you to prepare for the negative vibrations that come in the second part of the year. The beginning of the year can put more pressure on Scorpio. And that's especially the case with those who do business. Not only will you have to fully concentrate on solving the problems from last year, the household will also require your attention. The shortcomings that you will have to deal with in connection with the reconstruction or small changes in the home will give you a lot of work. If you are wondering whether this year will be successful in the field of work and career, fortune teller Sybil has several answers and interesting observations for you. If you expect complications in your career, the work horoscope for this period will surely navigate you correctly. From March 25th to May 20th, the position of Mars takes place in the 9th house. The other months of the year are therefore strengthened by the secondary ruling planet in passionate Scorpio. Astrological aspects indicate a very strong effect on personal, family relationships with the arrival of this year. So, in the initial 3 months, you do not have a great need, nor an opportunity, to deal with your career direction. Nevertheless, since March 25th, Mars enters the 9th house. From this date on, every Scorpio's attention is focused on career opportunities. Thus, the opening quarter of the ongoing year 2023 does not indicate any astrological aspects that would negatively affect the career. You also don't have to worry about career opportunities. However, the horoscope does not predict any changes for unemployed Scorpios who wonder when the opportunity for change will come. Do not expect this change in the first 3 months. From March 25th, Scorpios should avoid big purchases and spending too much money. However, with the cosmic energies flowing through your world, you have the opportunity to choose knowledge. Mars gives unemployed Scorpios the opportunity to travel abroad. You can also concentrate on your studies to deepen knowledge. All these steps help unemployed Scorpios to later capture the career opportunity they desire. From April 21st, retrograde Mercury joins the favorable position of Mars, which now has a very beneficial effect on the career of every Scorpio. This position of Mercury will cause more work responsibilities that Scorpio can expect from April 21st to May 15th. From this point of view, complications also await you in employment. Not only does the horoscope expect problems in personal relationships as well. Forecast Scorpio also predicts greater pressure at work. Looking at the career and finances of Scorpio throughout the year, the annual forecast thus speaks of the first disruption of favorable energies by Mercury in the 7th house. After it ends, on May 15th, a stronger aspect comes that will affect the Scorpio career. Mars moves through the 10th astrological house from May 20th to July 10th. The planet Venus is later added to this position of Mars. And last but not least, the placement of Mercury in the same house. According to astrology, the 10th house is the house of long-term goals and career matters. From this perspective, you can expect multiple opportunities. And not only to find a desired job. Scorpio can be oriented towards achieving such life goals that are close to you. Every Scorpio is doing well. To the one who runs a business. Even to the one in long-term employment. Last but not least, you also have the opportunity to change your job if it does not bring you a sense of personal fulfillment. Financial matters will not bother you to such an extent that you cannot take an important life step for your happiness. Sometimes it's better to humble yourself and find happiness than to worry about a few extra pennies, highlights Sybil through the horoscope for this year. June, July, and August are richly oriented towards achieving career success. You are trying to achieve a championship. You are fighting for your good position in a job where you have already done a lot of work. It often happens that Scorpio, with Mars placed in this way, is also interested in politics. And of course, also about achieving success in personal space. You want to be heard. Your words now carry weight. These positive astrological transits that pass through the summer of this year will focus Scorpio's attention mainly on achieving career success. You want to see yourself in a better position. Desire to achieve goals that were unimaginable in the previous period. The fighting planet Mars helps you to achieve a leadership position at work and improving your overall status. For Scorpios who work in the home, aspects of the summer of this year mean opportunities for career growth. Many Scorpios decide to work part-time or to do work that you can monetize. The summer months of this year seem to be beneficial for the Scorpio in terms of career. You can expect rapid progress in life. Without fear and without any problems, you decide on big life changes in terms of career, business, your personal work advancement. Although the beginning of this year may encourage you to submit to the opinions and demands of others, the second part of the year brings more independence. The Sun in the 10th house demands the attention of every Scorpio. From July 23rd to August 23rd, the Sun in the indicated position means that the Scorpio will not escape the attention of the public. You are trying to get more skill. A good reputation can be damaged by a scandal at work. The latter can mean deep problems for the future career direction of Scorpio. To avoid the problems caused by this position of the Sun, Scorpio prediction navigates you. The energy is disturbed by martial Mars in the 11th house. Focus mainly on your career responsibilities. The aforementioned astrological transits predict problems, mainly because you will also deal with personal matters at work. Even gossip can damage your good career reputation. But also unfavorable relationships with the Libra and Scorpio signs. As far as rumors are concerned, the annual forecast alerts you mainly in the months of July and August. Any gossip about others or judging their work performance can distract you from your personal life path of success. Focusing your attention on what is natural to your surroundings is of great importance. Do not try to advance your ambitions by damaging another person's reputation. Don't act selfishly. Selfishness can be triggered by the Mars position in the 12th house at the end of August. Until October 12th. The period from May to the end of August means that you can work on your resume. You can take advantage of an incoming job offer in your home country, or even travel abroad. Scorpio, who takes care of the household, will consider partial work options. About how to improve the family budget on your own. In the closing months of this year, during the Scorpio season that begins on October 23rd, you have the opportunity to create more safe space around you. The housekeeping of those Scorpios who work in the home will be admired. Your home will be a haven for loved ones. Your work will be appreciated by all family members. At the end of the year, taking care of the household may require more work commitment from Scorpio. November and December require greater deployment in the household. These months can be much more demanding for work duties than the previous period. The Scorpio season, which begins on October 23rd, can mean the full manifestation of self-knowledge and expression in society. In terms of career opportunities, the annual forecast expects many social events that will enrich you with new contacts in the Scorpio season. Due to the fact that no negatives are blocked in the Scorpio season from October 23rd to November 21st, the Scorpio steps are correct. At the end of this year, you are on the right path to success. Even though a greater number of duties, negative aspects do not hold you back at the end of the year, even in terms of finances. Both October and November Scorpio are oriented towards new things and new directions. This kind of approach to your life at the end of this year is very positive and required by others. An active way of thinking will provide an unemployed Scorpio with many job opportunities. As for students born under the Scorpio sign, they should not be afraid to take new opportunities into their hands, the horoscope advises. Be interested in new things and new directions throughout the year. You will do well. And especially in the summer months of this year. At that time, you need to end certain periods with successful exams or improving your grades. The winter months of this year, be it January or December, are more family-oriented, and therefore students may not be able to succeed in everything they desire. Scorpios will take care of the household without any complications. You may have more work, especially at the end of this year. The beginning of the year is associated with great success for Scorpio, with less pressure on work duties. Even if you compare your work performance with others throughout this year, you still know what position and reward you deserve for your work. And thanks to this, you know how to direct your career correctly. Scorpio's finances seem to be quite balanced throughout the year. At the beginning of the year, the consequences of certain transits can impoverish you from saved money. However, the first part of the year will allow you to improve your financial budget again. You can expect a financial profit mainly at the end of this year. The first 6 months of the year seem to be more demanding for buying new things, such as electrical appliances, or other things that break down in the home. At the beginning of the year, it is therefore reasonable for Scorpio to avoid large purchases. During the period when Mercury is retrograde, also avoid impulsive spending of money. Don't buy things you don't even need. Mainly, the retrograde position of Mercury encourages you to quickly buy things you want for your home. However, this is the wrong approach. You should consult with other family members about any big investment or major purchases. You should also think carefully about these purchases. And that throughout the year. At the end of the year, Scorpios can expect an extraordinary reward. You will also have the opportunity to ask your employer for a salary increase. The extra money will boost your family budget, especially in the final part of this year. Scorpio Health Forecast. From an overall point of view, the health prediction for this period speaks of great resilience, which is typical for the Scorpio sign. Even if your health is sometimes on a swing, you can still prevent various health problems thanks to your defenses. Horoscope in this section will offer an overview of what complications should be expected from the point of view of the effect of cosmic energies on your health. Scorpio will be susceptible to certain diseases this year, but they may not be directly related to a healthy lifestyle. However, the forecast also considers less stress to be a healthy lifestyle, which can cause major health complications in this year. If you are often surrounded by problems, worries, and your mind is directed only to the negative perception of the environment, you can expect several health complications. From this point of view, the fortune teller recommends you to focus your attention on the root chakra right from the start. This chakra is associated with the color red. The color red and its shades represent the color of this year for every Scorpio who wants to strengthen their vitality and energy. In order to connect with the energies that this year brings you and to avoid complications right at the beginning of the year, it is essential to heal and unblock the root chakra. This waiting causes the blocking of a positive relationship with the environment. The first chakra also expresses your relationship to your family and to the most basic needs that are related to your life. In order to achieve better health, in terms of your mental resilience, working with the chakras is essential. A blocked chakra has a negative impact on your strength and overall understanding of the world. A disturbed root chakra can cause not only mental but also physical problems. It robs you of your physical strength. In terms of psychological resistance, we are more dismissive, we do not feel solid ground under our feet. A healthy root chakra is essential for faster personal progress and spiritual growth. Unblocking the root chakra is extremely important for every Scorpio in this year. A healthy root chakra will help you overcome problems and the pitfalls of everyday life. Thanks to it, you overcome the stressful period better. You perceive that not only problems are a part of your ordinary life. A blocked root chakra blocks your recognition, appreciation, proper career progression. Regulate the disturbed root chakra by meditating right from the start of this year. A healthy or, on the contrary, a disturbed root chakra can also be reflected in the radiation of your aura. Scorpio also suffers from physical difficulties. They are also related to the blocked function of the root chakra. You will have problems with the circulation of the limbs. You will often experience a general feeling of winter in your body. This year will also trouble you in terms of inharmonious blood pressure. Frequent urinary tract infections await women. Men born under the sign of Scorpio will struggle with addictions and physical restlessness. Forecast and astrological prediction for the said year also predicts problems with digestion, lungs, and sore throat. All these problems are physical difficulties predicted by the horoscope. You are more prone to health problems and other psychosomatic disorders. Even from this point of view, you can see how important it is to work with your inner self. Try to keep your emotions in balance and harmony. If your psyche is damaged, your physical body also responds to stressful situations and feelings of insecurity. Therefore, the basic point for the Scorpio to feel good health in this year is to take care of the psychological setting. Stress is definitely not good for you. It will hit you the most in the summer months of this year, because you have many work responsibilities waiting for you. The passionate sign of the zodiac, which is largely controlled by the planet Mars, has a positive relationship with exercise and physical movement. Thanks to this, in this year you will not struggle with excess weight or a lack of exercise. Thanks to this part of a healthy lifestyle, which is the basic characteristic of every Scorpio, the health of this year can be fully in your hands. It is no less important that every Scorpio finds a place where he feels safe, protected. The health problems that await Scorpio bring with them recommendations for general cleansing of the body. Especially in the early months of this year, it is necessary for Scorpio to undergo a physical cleansing. Eat less, focus mainly on healthy food, vegetables and fruits. Include less meat, more fiber, and more healthy fats in your diet. From March 25th, Mars enters the 9th house. It affects your desire to learn, to travel, to discover the surrounding roads and the world. In these periods, which can cause more than one Scorpio to choose to explore the world, it is also appropriate to be interested in alternative ways of healing the body and soul. Aromatherapy is also an important part of this year. Peppermint oil is the oil of this year for every Scorpio. It helps you overcome several pains. For example, if you are a Scorpio who will face unpleasant toothaches, peppermint oil can help you overcome these pains. And thanks to inhaling this essence, which will give you vitality, a feeling of freshness, better health. For severe toothaches, we also recommend the procedure from 2022. Mix clove oil with a deciliter of water and apply it to the painful parts of the teeth. Aromatherapy reminds you to always get 100% quality oils. Choose oils that are used for both external and internal use. Buy only high-quality oil, preferably organic. As the forecast has already stated, this year will be the most demanding in terms of health in the summer months of this year. Possible health problems of a physical nature occur here. In addition, the position of Mars in the 12th astrological house from August 27th to October 12th warns of accidents or physical injuries. Be careful with any physical activity during this period when Mars moves through the 12th house. For Scorpio, physical movement is very important. In these moments, however, you need to be more careful with your body. Increase caution when driving. Under the influence of several events that Scorpio perceives in the surroundings, it is also necessary to warn Scorpio about driving under the influence of alcohol. Any such decision of yours could cause huge complications not only for your health, but also for your overall future. Therefore, avoid driving under the influence of any addictive substances. The whole year requires the attention of Scorpio to cleanse his aura of negative thoughts. You have to combine your outer and inner body, that is, mental and physical health, with things that make you happy. A positive mindset is very important for good health in this year. For unexpected sore throats, which will appear mainly in the winter months of this year, reach for foods that contain enough zinc and good cholesterol. Be sure to include avocados, cherries, cottage cheese, asparagus, fish in your regular diet. Avoid alcohol at all costs throughout this year. Your body will not have enough strength to regenerate, especially after consuming a large amount of alcohol. At the end of this year, Scorpio must fully concentrate on ensuring a sufficient drinking regime for his body. At the end of this year, the favorable position of Mars in the first astrological house, and the later transit of Venus to the first house, gives you the opportunity to experience new tastes and smells of the surroundings. You can enjoy everything new that will support your health. Be interested in alternative health support through aromatherapy, chakra healing, acupuncture. Every new thing that brings you closer to better health is welcome in this year. But be careful, don't be tempted by conspiracies and charlatan procedures to treat your body. Use common sense to select the recommendations that will really help you. You make the best decisions under the influence of quality astrological placements at the end of this year. Then you can focus on treating all health complications. The best time for health checkups is at the beginning of this year. The second half is more demanding in terms of work duties. Scorpio will struggle with multiple tasks. They will leave you enough time to focus on minor or major health complications. Scorpio Forecast summarizes that the way to better health is to cleanse the aura, think more positively about the world and remove stress from your everyday life. Live in the present moment. Enjoy every minute so that it is as happy as possible for you. Thanks to this, your health will also be stronger. Horoscope and Tarot wish you, dear Scorpio, a successful year full of happiness, health and positive energy. Dear friends, this was an overview of the year 2023. Listen to predictions for others, and find out more facts about the year and its effects on your friends, family members, and you. Horoscope and Divination wish you all the best in this stunning year. According to Chinese astrology, 2023 is the year of Water Rabbit, when good things are coming. Listen to Chinese Horoscopes 2023 as well and be ready for this year. Subscribe to our channel for more information from the zodiac world. Remember to support us by subscription. In the description below, you will find links for all essential horoscopes. Know yourself better with the Horoscope Divination site, with free horoscopes and tarot readings. Wish you all the best in 2023.